things to go loud. Oh, hey, Internet, how's it going? This week, Ford and GM have been sued, not for safety, but for music piracy. Believe it or not, we'll explain that. Time Warner thinks net neutrality, the biggest threat to them, is Google and Netflix. Makes a lot of sense to me. And OkCupid says that every site experiments on people, so what Facebook did isn't that big a deal. And by the way, we experiment on you when you're trying to find a date. That seems fun. We're going to cover all this and more because my name's Justin Pott, and I'm in Boulder, Colorado, and you're listening to Technophilia. Keep doing that. With me today from the UK, as always, is Mr. James Bruce. Thanks for showing up, James.
That's all right. I was a tad busy, and you can blame London Underground for their worthless service.
For their worthless service, yeah. Yeah, putting trains underground so that you can get from one point to another sometimes doesn't work as efficiently as possible. So yeah, doesn't sound like a hard thing to do consistently or anything. I can see why you'd be upset about that.
Thank you for understanding.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just glad you're okay. It's weird, right? People you only know digitally, when they stop responding to IMs, it's just like, holy shit, he's dead or something. I'm never going to find out. I don't have any likes.
He's dead. Right.
Yeah. Just right away. Oh, I don't know. How would I find out even? Like, does your wife have your email password? Like, I don't know. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Also with me from Connecticut, who's not dead, I don't think, is Dave Leclerc. How's it going, Dave?
I was getting ready to have a party. I was going to have a yay, he's gone party, but my plans were thwarted by him not being gone.
We're going to do our own little James Isn't Here podcast, because that always works out so well when we do the show without James, when it's just you and me.
Anything's better without James, to be honest, though.
I don't agree with that. I like James.
I don't know.
He brightens up the podcast a little bit.
I thought he was going to stay underground and just go back and live with the mole people, because he'd fit right in.
The what people? The mole people.
The Wombles. Sustainable mole people.
Yeah.
I live near the Wombles. Do you know what they are?
What are the Wombles?
The Wombles in Wimbledon. You don't know them?
Are they tennis players?
Is.
The Wombles of Wimbledon, wombling all day. I don't know.
What? The Wombles of Wimbledon.
The Wombles of Wimbledon. They womble around. They collect trash and they live underground and they make things out of the trash. How do you not know this? What's wrong with you?
We don't live in the UK, son.
Yeah. What? Do you know what the Jackalope is? Like, are you familiar with all of our mythology over here?
Oh, well, who isn't?
Are you familiar with the Wombles that wobble but don't fall down?
There, I posted a link in the chat room so you can find out what the Wombles are, because this is clearly some odd part of your education you are desperately in need of. I don't know why not.
The Wombles, wow. Oh, let's move on to technology, shall we? We can get into Wombles a little bit more. Holy crap.
These are fictional things? I thought they were like homeless people who just trash. I didn't know they were like a joke. I thought they were like an actual...
They're not a joke. What do you mean a joke?
Well,
the Wombles are very serious.
It says they're fictional on the Wikipedia page.
Well, I've met a Womble, and I'm telling you they're not fictional.
But they look like little garbage dudes.
That's what I said. They collect garbage. God, how do you...
So they're recyclers. They sound like they're a benefit to society.
They are, totally.
So, like, do you choose in your town whether you get, like, trash removal service or, like, Wumbler service?
No, they're only in Wimbledon. I don't know why you think they'd be in every town everywhere. They're only in Wimbledon.
Oh, you said you were close to them. Maybe they go...
I am. I'm right next to Wimbledon.
Okay, so you do play tennis and stuff? I had no idea.
No.
I can't picture James playing any sport.
Yeah.
You don't play tennis just because you live in Wimbledon.
I think you do. I'm pretty sure that's mandatory.
Yeah, that's like saying you don't play hockey because you live in Toronto. Of course you play hockey.
Well, not Toronto. Toronto, you don't play hockey there.
A Hall of Fame is in Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah, but city.
Hey, wait, speaking of hockey, before we get into the tech news, I just want to let you guys...
just lost it. I can literally see people disappearing from the chat.
I just want to let you guys know how I spent my morning today.
Okay.
I watched the first two Mighty Ducks movies.
Oh my goodness, why? Are you just that depressed?
They were on TV yesterday, and I watched like a little bit of the first one, but then I had to go out to dinner, so I didn't finish it. So I was like, you know what?
So here's a question.
All three Mighty Ducks today.
Here's a question / prediction. I think esports has made it. when they make like a scrappy ragtag group of kids in a movie that get together and play Dota really well and just dominate. That's when esports is a real thing, and I have
Wasn't that like a documentary?
No, but it's got to be fictional. Well, there was an esports movie starring. Because that's how you know you've made it. There was an esports movie
but all
starring...
the Dota players are scrappy little teenagers. What would be the fun in a fictional
They are
story?
not. They are anything but scrappy.
So usually it's like in these sports movies, the convention is like you've got a little scrawny group of little scrawny kids who like manage to like rise up and win anyways because they know some spectacular tricks or something, right? So I guess this would be like a bunch of really dumb jocks who are like huge but not very good at video games, and then they get like an inspiring coach who teaches them how to be like more nerdy and better at gaming and stuff. I bet you this is going to be huge.
Well, they made an esports movie with Jason Mewes, the guy from Jay and Silent Bob.
Okay.
It's called something, Noobs. And it's about him and his friends go to Vegas to play in a Gears of War tournament. Does that count?
Nope.
Nope. Anyways, moving right along, let's get to the news. Let's get to the news this week.
Moves?
Ford and GM are being sued, not by the RIA. This is another group. The AARC. I've never heard of this one, but anyways, they're suing Ford and GM because there's a CD ripper in the car. You can have a CD in your car, right? And then you can hit a button, and it'll rip it to a hard drive on the car as an MP3, so you can listen to it without having the CD there. Now, myself personally, the car's like the only place I still listen to CDs because I've ripped everything else to my computer.
Really?
But what? I have MP3 CDs in my car, and they just kind of stay there. And
MP3 CDs. Interesting.
Yeah. Actually, totally different now that I think of it.
My car has this ripper.
Your car has this thing? Well,
and I've used it before.
Yeah. Is it good?
It works as advertised. You put the CD in, you click one button, and then the MP3s are stored on the 20 gig hard drive, and they're ready to listen to whenever you want. I have one CD ripped to it though, and that CD is still in the CD player. So
exactly like CDs. You used to move them from your car to your house when there was like a CD player somewhere in your house. I don't think. Is there somewhere I can play CDs? My computer doesn't have one. My desktop computer hooked up to my media center. I could do it there if I wanted to.
8 years ago, this would have been an amazing thing to have, though. I mean, to have all these CDs and not have to like burn them to MP3 CDs just to rip everything. That would have been like, I would have thought that was the awesomest thing ever.
Yeah, that would have been awesome back in the day. Now it's useless, and I don't think you're going to see it in cars all that often because now Ford and GM are being sued. This AARC is alleging basically that they owe, let me get the figure here, I thought it was like $1,400 per unit, $2,500 for each recording device in each vehicle. So assuming they win, I mean, a car's what, $25,000? That takes off like almost 10% of the total sales. So yeah, I think this is ridiculous, but apparently if a device has no other purpose than ripping CDs, then you're not allowed to make it. So, like, that's why you're allowed to rip CDs on your computer, I guess. I'm just confused by this whole thing, because you can do other stuff with your computer. But this...
Well, you cannot... This thing has a navigation screen on it.
Maybe?
Why?
I don't know.
What's the point? Like, can you even get the songs off of this car once you've ripped them?
Well, it's in a hard drive, so you could go in behind your head unit, take the hard drive out.
You could rip the hard drive out of your car. Yeah, I see a lot of people doing that.
Put that hard drive in your computer and then copy the songs to your other hard drive that's in your computer and then do what you want with them. So the answer to your question is no, you really can't do it.
Presumably this thing also just plays MP3 CDs or things you plug into it on a thumb drive or something.
Well, in the case of mine, it has... You know, my phone connects to it through Bluetooth and plays whatever I want.
Well, aren't you a Mr. Fancy Pants?
I mean, I just think...
I don't use the hard drive.
This is the good fight 10 years ago. Like,
I just think this case is amazing, because it feels like a blast from the past. This is like 2002 all over again. Next thing you're going to know, we're going to be hearing about how iTunes rips CDs, and that's a problem. Apple shouldn't be allowed to just have iTunes on devices by default. Like, this is so retro it hurts. It's incredible.
It is weird. But to be fair,
if someone's buying a CD and ripping it to their car, at this point, you should be like so grateful that they bought the CD in the first place.
Well, I think the problem is that they're concerned that people are not buying the CDs. They're like, hey, my car lets me rip CDs. Let me borrow your CD collection, rip them in real quick, and give them back to you.
Yeah, you know what?
But I'm only going to do it in my car. I don't want it on my computer or my MP3 player. I just want
What
this thing
CD
in my
collection
car.
are you going to borrow? I don't have any CDs, dude.
I have a CD
I tell you what, I'll
from
just
when I was
copy
like
my-
15.
I'll copy my 69 days worth of MP3s onto a hard drive for you. How's that? Would that be better?
Yeah, hook that shit up, bro. I deleted all my MP3s.
As long as you don't build it into a car, I think that's fine, James.
I don't have a single MP3 on my computer anymore, other than MP3 files of people talking for making videos.
No, this brings us to
I think I used the iTunes map service to upgrade them all to high-quality AACs, which are legitimate. So
I put all mine are on Google Music. If I ever want them, they're up there somewhere, floating around.
So, I lost my track completely.
Oh.
So yeah, this is... Oh, Dave, you've switched completely to streaming services. You don't have any MP3s on your computer anymore?
No, I deleted all of them off my computer, put them on Google Drive or Google Music in case I want them, because there was like 50 gigs of MP3s I had or something like that.
Wow.
It was ridiculous.
Is that all?
Honestly,
Is that all?
That's a lot of MP3s. They were not high quality songs. They were like, 3,000 kilobyte
Wow.
songs.
Now I'm curious. See how much music I have.
But then, with Spotify, I was like, why keep these? I don't need them anymore. And they're on Google Music if I ever want to download them. I re-download them.
only have 120 gigabytes.
Oh, wait, you don't like any bands, James? What is that?
Well,
Is
that's
it all
absolute bull crap right
It's all
there.
all shitty J-pop.
I'm not a big fan of these.
That's how it sounds to me.
What the hell was that?
that was Dave speaking Japanese.
That's J-pop.
Awesome.
Oh man.
Sushi.
Anyways, I just can't believe that this lawsuit's happening. It feels so retro. And you're right. Like, if this was a feature offered in a car 10 years ago, Dave, it would be awesome. Right now, it's irrelevant. And for the music industry to be going after them, it's just, I mean,
Maybe it's relevant for old people.
maybe.
My car
But
doesn't even have a CD player. It only plays tapes.
Yeah.
I use one of those radio things to like. I don't even have Bluetooth. I just broadcast the FM.
You don't even
radio.
have like a tape tech adapter? I could send you one of those. It's got to be in this closet over here somewhere.
What's that? Oh, that just seemed kind of pointless. Like, why? I don't really.
Because the
understand
radio
this.
things run out of batteries.
So you just put it in and press play, and then what?
Yeah, and then it translates your MP3s or whatever into like a tape signal.
It's also a higher quality.
This is amazing. This is fundamentally amazing right now. I never understood how those work.
It's
also,
incredible, yeah.
Those are way
It's just
higher
like a little
quality
fake
than
tape.
The radio thing. And if you travel and you get to a spot where your stupid radio thing is on a signal that has a station, you gotta like re-change it and stuff. Or you could just get a car that has like a 3.5 millimeter jack in it, and then you're.
Well, it's like yours requires getting a new car. You know, you can replace the radio in your car without just getting a new car, Dave.
Fuck that! Get a new car.
Didn't you just buy this car, James?
Yeah, but it was secondhand, and I didn't really look.
Didn't CDs become kind of standard sometime around the turn of the century? Like, is this thing?
Yeah. I mean, this car is designed for like farmers and things, though.
Oh, got it. Well, to be fair, you do have a backyard full of chickens, so it seems appropriate. Anyways, we were concerned about not having enough
so James
storage.
is like 4 levels behind in terms of like car music technology. There was the thing that he has, the FM transmitter, then the tape thing, then 3.5 millimeter jacks, and then Bluetooth. And James is all the way back
there's
here.
no 3.5 mil jacks. There's none of that.
But at least he has the latest Oculus Rift.
Yeah, that's true. He spends his money on that shit. He pre-orders a $1,000 treadmill that can run on.
But spending $30 on a new deck for his car that includes an audio jack. That's just crazy.
Is that a thing? Can I do that? Is that a thing?
Yeah, you could. I mean, at least in the United
switch
States,
the radio out. Yeah.
change your head unit. Yeah.
Holy crap! You run a section of MakeUseOf.com wherein people learn how to do things themselves. This is your job.
I've never done anything to my car. That's like some sacred piece of equipment that one must not touch.
No, there's just, like, the radio couldn't be less
I don't
sacred.
even look under the bonnet, dude. I give that to someone else who knows their shit.
Holy shit, that's so precious.
James has
Fritz
been
called it the bonnet?
What
Wait,
am I
back
gonna
up,
do with
Dave.
the bonnet? I just
The
open it up and
bonnet?
be like, what?
They call it the bonnet. What?
The bonnet is like
What you're
something
talking- Sorry.
with babies.
What's wrong with the bonnet? What do you call it? The hood?
Yeah, the
The
hood.
hood, yeah.
I jacked
Yeah,
the hood up,
everything.
man. Yeah, I jacked the hood up.
Is that your attempt at an American
Opened
accent?
the bonnet. I have never opened the bonnet.
Wait, say more American things. I want to hear. Back up.
Oh.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying more American things.
James is actually working on a future tech article about alternate ways that they could possibly in the future let you listen to music in your car. He's like, if only there was some kind of... Before you know it, there might be some kind of special plug where you could plug your iPhone directly.
In the future,
Yeah,
I'm
by
expecting
2020.
some sort of wireless technology. It'll
Wow.
just seamlessly connect your phone to your car. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
My
this
car is
is
about
serious
10 years
future
old
tech.
and it has a jack.
Dude, my car is only 2006 model. I have no idea why it had that shit of a tape deck.
Yeah,
Maybe-
2006 isn't that old. That's incredible.
I guess...
Maybe it was the guy who owned it before saw that there was like a CD drive and he's like, well, I'm not buying all those albums again. He like removed it, put in one with a tape deck and left
Maybe
it
in the
at that.
UK it's different. Maybe they don't, they don't like music over there in the UK. They're too busy doing other things, like drinking and watching football.
Oh, there we go. Anyways, congrats to the music industry for fighting yesterday's fight today. It's really inspiring to see that you guys haven't given up, that you guys aren't going to let us down, that you're not going to turn around. Yeah, just incredible. Let's move right along. There is a tool online that lets you find a town that matches up with your political beliefs. This just seems like a great idea. If we all just live in towns with people who think the same as us, then, it's just all going to be better. There's this increasing trend of political polarization in this country. There's some dispute as to whether it's happening or not, or whether the parties are just aligning more with specific visions, whereas before there'd be like liberals, Republicans, and conservative Democrats, whatever. But I don't know. There was a study recently that showed where the happiest towns in America was. And Boulder, Colorado, came up first. That's where I happen to live. And second was Holland, Michigan, where my in-laws live. And both these places are remarkable because everyone basically agrees on politics. I mean, this is a very, very liberal town in an otherwise fairly conservative state. And Holland, I'd say, is a pretty conservative place overall. But apparently living around people who think the same way as you makes you happier, which was the kind of the disturbing part of this study. So if you want to be happy, find people who think the same as you, and that's what this website is. I find it disturbing. I think like if we all just lived in towns where everyone agrees with us, the result's going to be kind of messed up. Dave, did you take this for Connecticut?
I did this, and I put Colorado, and it gives me Crestone.
Where the hell is Crestone? I've never even heard of that.
Crestone, I don't know what that is. But apparently that's me. I'm.
Did it put you up in the mountains somewhere?
I think so. You know, you laugh at this, but I think I've always subconsciously chosen to live somewhere that's firmly liberal Democrat. I mean, I went to university in Sheffield. That was a Lib Dem town. And now where I live right now is Lib Dem. And I'm happy, so what's so wrong with this? It's good.
Apparently I'm meant to live in the ghettoest towns in Connecticut.
I can believe that.
I got Bridgeport, which is a fucking shithole. New Britain, which is also a shithole. I got Waterbury twice, which doesn't even make sense. It's the same city with 2 different zip codes. And then the only decent place that I got is Storrs Manfield, which is where Yukon is. So I have 4 out of my 5 choices are in the middle of the ghetto and places that I hate. So.
Wow, it put me way down in the south of the state by the New Mexico border. I've never heard of this town. It's got 1,000 people in it.
1,000 people?
63. 63. It put me in a town called Chama.
Wait, your population density is 63?
No, the total population of the town it thinks I should live in based on my political preference is 63 people.
The town it put me in is 13,234 people per square mile.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just, I don't know. It's a weird little gimmick that they have. Oh man, the town they want me to live in is on Whiskey Pass Road. So you know what? I think I'm gonna move. I gotta do that. Yeah.
Since we're talking about politics,
yeah.
I would like to give a shout out for a UK-oriented site.
Oh no. Okay.
Voteforpolicies.org.uk, which is which is really how all voting should be done, right? You go through and you vote on individual policies. It doesn't tell you anything about whose they are. It just says
voteforpolicies.uk.org. I couldn't get that to come out.
Voteforpolicies.org.uk. It's very cool. You go through a series. It's quite a long series of questions. You go through them, and it tells you exactly where your alignment lies. Or in my case, it tells you which 6 parties it's divided between, because I've got a perfectly equal split, which is really annoying. But it's a fantastic way to actually vote, rather than simply saying, "Oh, I'm going to vote Lib Dem this year."
Yeah. No, I like it. I really like the idea. We should be thinking more about ideas and less about identity, right? And this is I think, the fundamental problems that's happened with politics, and it's something that's really disturbed me. Since I first moved to the States, I was, while talking to people would say things like, well, I'm a genetic Republican, or, well, my parents are Democratic, so I'm going to vote Democratic, right? And it just disturbed me, right? Because my mom and my dad, I remember one year distinctly, we had 2 different election signs on our yard because our parents were both supporting different candidates, I guess. It was more of a joke than a fight, though. Like, it wasn't nasty or anything. And like, there was just different ideas. And it's okay to disagree on ideas. It's okay to switch sides from time to time. In fact, most Americans do switch sides at least a little bit. And in the UK, I think it should be the same way everywhere. You shouldn't vote because you identify with one party or the other. If you never change your mind about everything, you're not, like, supporting a party. You're just giving them votes without them needing to change anything about what they're doing. You know?
What's really weird? My parents wouldn't tell me what they voted for, who they voted for. They
Really?
would never tell me. They were like, no, that's a secret. We can never tell you that. And it kind of makes me think, like, are you voting for this super nationalist party or something? Like, if you were voting for a normal party, you'd just tell me, right? So you can't be. You must be voting for, like,
So you're just
Looney Party or something.
You're just assuming they vote for UKIP.
Yeah, like, why would you keep that secret? Just tell me.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to take the piss out of you, whatever, but...
No, so this is a good idea. I mean, you should be thinking about... It's really interesting here in the States. I don't want to rant too much, but if you ask people whether they agree with Obamacare, most people will say no when you poll them. But if you then say all the individual things that make up Obamacare,
right,
overwhelmingly Americans support it. Right?
Yeah,
so I don't like Obamacare, but I like the idea that you, as an insurance company, can't kick someone off for doing this, right? And it's not just that. There are Republican policies that go the same way, right? People don't like it when they hear it, but when it's actually explained to them bit by bit, they do like it, right? And yeah, I mean, we've let branding and marketing and all of this mind control bullshit basically seep into the political process so much that we don't even, it should be
because the interesting thing about this site is that it's had 500,000 completed surveys so far, and the majority of people voted for Green Party policies, which is hilarious because Green Party is actually in about 6th place in the polls, way behind UKIP and even BNP or something. It's so crazy. Like, if you actually ask people what policies do you want, they will vote for Green.
So what kind of green policies? I mean, they must be pretty populist policies, right?
No, they're just sensible.
Okay.
Like,
well,
don't allow fracking on public parks and things like that.
Huh. Yeah, that's fascinating. The difference between... Yeah, Dave says politics puts him to sleep. Sorry, Dave. But the difference between...
Have a look. See what UK vote you would be. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I think I will. I think I'll give this a shot. That's a really interesting idea. And you're starting to see more things like this, but, I'm just so tired of branding being used in place of like political thought. Branding taking over what should be the role of ideas, right? And branding in horse races, right? Because every election, I don't know what it's like over there, James, but here, the news barely talks about what people's like policy stances are, and it's more about how what they said will affect whether they win or not, as though people are just mindless robots that react to. So, what's that game, Democracy? Have you heard of this?
I've heard of it. I never played it.
Okay, so in it, you say things, and then the polls react to it, right? So, like, you say, I think there should be free telephone calls for everyone, right? And then the game, just using algorithms, reacts to that, right? And your numbers go up or down depending on whether people want free telephone calls. Okay? This is kind of, though, when I read the way politics is covered in this country, I feel like they're covering someone playing a game of that democracy. Like, I don't feel like they're not talking about what the policies are or what they mean. They're talking about, hey, what will people in Iowa think about that? And it's yeah, it's a bit nonsense to me. So anyways, glad to see this. You should be thinking about politics not in terms of people or parties, but ideas, and anything that breaks it down is good. Let's move along, shall we?
Yeah.
Where are we going?
We're going to move
net
on
neutrality, I can bow out.
back to America. We're going to talk net neutrality. And Time Warner has a real sense of humor, apparently. There might be bought out by Comcast. We've all heard about this. And their defense for being bought out by Comcast is that we don't compete anywhere, so it's not an antitrust. Well, they don't compete anywhere because they've been working together, right? They've been working together to make sure they don't overlap in any territory so that both of them can charge as much as possible. Why would you compete? Then you have to charge less. It's icky. It's like capitalism or something. Anyways, that's been really funny to see them make that argument. And they've been making another self-defeating argument lately. Basically that it's not us that's going to destroy net neutrality. It's Google and Netflix. They're going to demand that we give our customers better service so that their services look good. All we want is for them to pay us. So you should get rid of net neutrality, they're basically saying, so that we can charge Google and Netflix more and save net neutrality. I'm confused, Dave. What the hell are they saying?
It sounds like they're just saying things to try to pass the blame to the other people and hoping that no one really questions what they're saying. It's just like, you know, it's like when you're a little kid and you spill something and you're like, no, Timmy did it, and then your mom's like, no, I saw you do it. No, well, Timmy told me that if I did it, he'd give me a cookie, so it was Timmy that he's responsible. So Timmy did it, and then you both get in trouble.
And then you're like telling the kid, I've got a tape of the last 12 hours, and I listened to all of it. Nowhere in it does Timmy say anything about you spilling the juice. And they're like, well, Timmy masked the tape. He hid it, right?
Yeah, it was altered, I think. Yeah. Timmy, bad kid. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like they're just saying things. And then they're like looking at Comcast, like, yo, back us up, bros. Yo, Comcast, come on. Yeah. Well, you know, we're saying shit over here. Let's say shit together.
Let's just say random crap, right? Oh, what was it? There's that one, I think it was a Comcast representative. No, he was just a cable lobbyist who was saying, they're talking about this being a slow lane and a fast lane, and I don't think that's the right metaphor. I think that the whole internet is already a fast lane, and we're going to have a hyperdrive lane, which is just such a load of crap. That's, yeah. They just say random crap. They're stalling for time in the hopes that they can get what they want, and they're spending billions of dollars on lobbying to destroy net neutrality, all while saying, that's Google. Google wants to get rid of net neutrality. Now, Google and Netflix, apparently, meanwhile, are contemplating spending millions on an advertising marketing campaign about saving net neutrality, so this is going to be really interesting to see how this all ends. It's so good to see that there are massive corporations who are on our side, a little bit. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we can't trust Google on everything, but when it comes to net neutrality, they've been at least pretty consistent.
And trust them more than the ISPs.
Yeah. Even though Google is kind of an ISP now.
Yeah, like they have 2 cities, or 1.5 cities.
Yeah. And Comcast is lobbying to make it illegal for them to be in anymore. So, you know, what a stand-up great company. Now, I don't know if you saw this, Dave.
Probably not.
But in the past week, I gotta find this back here. The Verge, I believe it was, had a long series of quotes from Comcast employees about what it's like working for the call center. We talked, I think it was last week or the week before.
I did
about
see
Ryan
that, actually.
Blotz. This was spectacularly scary, the way it works there. Basically, everyone at that company has been told, if they're working the phones, that their job is sales. So if you're doing tech support, so let's say James calls up Comcast looking to get better internet speeds, right? Because he paid for 100 megabytes per second and he's getting 0.5 and he wants it to be faster. In the course of that phone call, it is the tech support guy's job, and he could be fired for not doing this, to tell James, why don't you upgrade to 150? Then you'll get 100. Like sales is the job of everyone.
Why don't you upgrade to 150, then you'll get 100? That's a shit sales pitch. Give me my 100 now.
I'm not saying that that's what they're going to say, but like, if you're calling them to complain about a problem, they are told that they have to try to upsell. And if they don't upsell, like, their managers are listening to their phone calls, and you'll get in trouble for doing it. If you just want to work for Comcast and help people, yeah, you're a shit customer. You should be trying to sell them more stuff. What's wrong with you? I'd recommend digging up that. I believe it was The Verge.
I think it was The Verge. That sounds right.
Yeah, here it is. It's called Comcast Confessions. I'll stick it in the chat room in the outline here for a second. Read it. Read it all. Great article.
Did you guys see the last Weird Al video last week where he did a whole song about corporate, like, words?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
It was the Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yeah, well, that wasn't a direct cover. It was just, like, in the style of...
Yeah, but it was
pretty funny, though. We got to synergize, man.
I was thinking of making that the make use of vision statement, just that song.
We got to synergize our offerings because...
Oh, yeah.
Brand equity.
Yeah, you know, every time someone complains about how big government is inefficient, I don't mean to get political again here. The fact is, every big organization is inefficient. It's not just government. Big companies are terribly inefficient. They make awful decisions all the time. Once you have a collection of people that big, stuff's going to get screwed up, yeah. Comcast is a good example of this. It is not in their best interest to treat all their customers like money dispensing units. Like, they should be trying to help them so they feel good about having Comcast as a service and aren't desperately trying to get away. What was it? There's a customer survey that said Comcast and Time Warner are the two most hated companies in America. Now, we've got companies here that, like, dumped oil into the Gulf of Mexico at an alarming rate, but yeah, Comcast is worse. Like, it's just incredible how much they're hated. You'd think it'd be in their best interest to fix it, but they just... Either they're not interested, or they can't figure out how, or they just don't care because they're the only ISP everywhere. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah.
Deal with it.
Just deal with it. Indeed. James, you keeping awake over there?
I'm sorry, I'm watching the Weird Al video. You were talking about America next. I figured you wouldn't need me. You whatever.
Well, let's move back to the UK then, because the London police are putting anti-piracy ads up on piracy sites, but they're not paying the piracy sites for this. In fact, the London police are basically setting up ad block at the ISP level and preventing piracy sites from making money in the UK.
Yeah, I'm not entirely clear on how this works. Like, does it actually work at the ISP? Does it work? I mean, it must do. I don't know how it works.
It must
but
be at the
either way,
ISP level.
They inject their own ads into pirate sites, which
means that people who are viewing pirated content from the City of London are pirating from the pirateers. They're watching their content and using up their bandwidth without giving them any revenue.
It's just the police there. That's like, this could be all over the country. It's not just London or anything.
Oh, okay.
It's
also it's countrywide, but it's the City of London police that are doing it?
Yes, because the City of London police are this strange little thing, and they have an intellectual property crime unit.
Weird.
You need to go look up the history of City of London. It's a very curious thing.
The history of the City of London is fascinating. That's like the financial district, basically, right?
Yeah, and it's country in and of its own.
The Queen needs to ask permission before she's allowed to enter the jurisdiction of the City of London. It's very strange.
So weird. I don't know what it's about.
What's the other thing about the City of London? Oh, corporations have the right to vote there, and like no one lives in the city.
Right.
It's so weird. So like if you work in the city, you get a vote because no one actually lives there. So
it's only bankers. It's basically the bankers' city, and they get to choose what goes on.
Yeah, but why do they have
there.
power over the whole country? Man, democracy's built on 2,000 years worth of history. Or get complicated, right? Because the City of London, that's like a Roman city that's still running. That's wild. That's crazy.
There's been a lot of lies spread about UK law over the past couple of weeks. Actually, remember there was we had the 4-strike system introduced, or the 3-strike system, I can't remember which it is. And at the end of getting these notices from your ISP, nothing would happen. So a lot of places reported that basically England had just legalized piracy, which is complete rubbish. This is nothing to do with the law. It is just letters from your ISP.
Yeah.
You're still breaking the law, and you can still be sued by hundreds of other companies.
Yep, they just stopped sending the letters.
You're going to get letters from your ISP as well. They're just not going to be doing anything. So don't be thinking that we legalized piracy, because we didn't.
Is there somewhere that has legalized piracy?
I think China's pretty much state-sponsored piracy, isn't it?
I think it's just that they don't care.
But they sell it in
the government is handing out pirated DVDs.
Like you go into Tesco's in China and you'll find pirated DVDs. It's not even... Yeah. I mean, how can you get away with that? I would understand if it was just on the back streets, but not in proper, legit, bloody supermarkets, you know?
Yeah.
How mad is that?
They've got to be cracking down on that, though.
No, they haven't.
The police have just made it clear that it's not a priority, right?
Not a priority, but we're going to let you... Yeah, I mean, not a priority, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so we're not going to do anything.
We'll see. The long arm of international copyright law will extend every corner of this dark planet.
Do you reckon these ads will be effective? I don't think they will.
What they're doing more than anything, according to the police, is people are just downloading stuff without realizing that it's illegal. Now at least there'll be something saying, hey, what you're doing isn't legal. But more than that...
That's a crock of shit. People say they don't realize it. Of course they bloody do. Come on.
The other thing it does, though, is
that survey?
It deprives these sites of revenue, James. Like, it removes
that's a good point. Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah, it deprives the piracy sites of revenue. They're not getting any revenue from these sites, but they're still streaming the content. Although, it's amazing that they're just blocking the ads on the site.
They still have 2 fake download buttons there, I think you'll notice on that screenshot, so the police aren't intercepting all of the ads on the page.
Oh, check it out. I love fake download buttons. Oh my goodness.
I mean, they haven't intercepted those, have they? So they can't be
doing all once a month, I get an email about a fake download button. Look, I downloaded something from your site and it's a virus. You need to turn it off. And I'm just... Gotta turn off these ads, but we can't block them. We can't. It's incredible. Every time Google kicks a fake download button company off, like 5 more pop off. They're like weeds. Yeah. Anyways, moving right along. OkCupid says Facebook experimenting on people is not a big deal. Every site experiments on people. We experiment on people, and they outlined some stuff they did. It was kind of interesting, actually. They had a Love is Blind Day on January 15th, where they removed all pictures from the website. Okay? And the result was traffic went way down. But the people who were there were having much longer conversations. When the pictures went back up, these conversations stopped immediately, presumably because the guys were just jackasses once they realized that this person wasn't attractive. But
hey, it could be. It's very easily the other way too.
Whatever, gender, switch it, whatever, it doesn't matter. So, that's interesting. And there's just all kinds of data here about how, yeah, we're all experimenting on you. Is this, I guess, running a website, in some sense, means running experiments, right? I mean, BuzzFeed famously puts like 5 different headlines up for each article, and then they've got an algorithm to determine which one generates the most clicks, and then they switch to that eventually, right? So that's an experiment. That's running an experiment on people to try to get the most traffic possible. So were people overreacting to the Facebook thing? What do you think, James?
I don't know.
I think they were reacting appropriately.
You think
Maybe
they
a
were
little overreaction. The different testing, though, what they're testing on OkCupid is not designed to like make you depressed and want to kill yourself. It was just to see how people chat with each other. The Facebook thing is like trying to make you sad.
But the interesting thing about this study is that they told people they were a good match, right? Because OkCupid's whole reputation is based on like analyzing your personality or whatever and finding people that are right for you. They told people that they were a good match, even though they weren't. And the results, in terms of the dates that came from this afterwards, were exactly the same as if they were a good match. There's no difference. It's all a load of crap. People were just as happy, just thinking that they were a good match than if they actually were. So I don't know if that says more about OkCupid or human nature, the power of suggestion. I'm not sure.
It says that the matching thing is bullshit and doesn't do anything.
Yeah, that's kind of what it tells me.
That's valid. Mm.
Yeah. So they put out this blog post that basically said, our service isn't useful. As long as you think that you're a good match with someone, you will be. Which is, you know, kind of the nature of human relationships. It's all
I believe
about
that me and
first
James
impression.
are a good match.
You're willing to forgive someone more if you believe that they're a good match for you, right? Because the first impression you have is a authoritative figure, in this case a machine, saying, you're a good match, right? So I could see why that would work.
I've never trusted those. Didn't you do like a careers matching service thing when you were at school or something? And mine said I should be a sneaker designer.
What? What?
I know, exactly. Like you're a good match for a shoe designer.
Strangely specific.
Thanks.
You know what mine said I should be when I did those? Mine said I should be a writer.
Mine said I should be a blogger and podcaster, which was weird because I didn't know what those words meant at the time.
I guess I should have just been a shoe designer. I would have been a lot happier in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine said writer, and I was like, hey, that's what I want to be when I grow up. This test is great.
Wow, I don't think I can't remember. I don't think it said I should go to college though. Anyways, moving.
Justin said he was too dumb for college.
Yeah, I think something like that.
You got the 1 + 1 question wrong, kid. College may not be in your future. 1 + 1 is not 7. I'm sorry.
What?
What? I'm calling Justin stupid.
Oh.
Yeah, you are.
Stupid.
I'm fairly convinced my thing hasn't been recording for the past 60 minutes, so that's fun.
Oh, God. We're not doing this.
We'll see when we stop, but we'll find out. Maybe I need to buy a dedicated camera. What's up?
You need a more reliable machine, Justin. Are you using like a 15-year-old MacBook Pro?
To be fair, James, it was yours that broke the last 2 episodes.
That is entirely fair, and I've totally got it sorted now.
Yep, we'll see.
It's a 2012 MacBook Pro, James.
I have a 2011 MacBook Pro.
Ancient.
I used it as a paperweight.
That's ancient. You really?
That's ancient, dude. No, I'm kidding. I'm using a 2009 iMac, so.
You buy like a new computer every year, like.
Not anymore. I used to when I had Windows machines. Now when I have a Mac, I've used it for like 4 or 5 years at a time.
Mm. Yeah, I mean that's the whole point of buying a Mac, right? It's
the Macs are so much more expensive.
Cost per year, dude. Cost per year. Do the analysis.
Yep.
Cost per year.
I don't know. I've had this PC for like 3 years now, and it runs flawlessly. I've had my MacBook for 2.5 years, and it's a flaming piece of shit that barely works. So. How
many times have you reinstalled Windows? I'd be curious.
1, and I've reinstalled macOS 1.
Really?
Well, it was running so shitty, I bought more RAM and it didn't fix it. So I figured, well, maybe this works when PCs are fucked up, so I'll try reinstalling macOS. Didn't do anything. All
right, moving on. Android really sucks news.
Okay. Gonna disagree with you there, but go ahead.
No, Android does really suck, apparently.
No,
There's been a big bug exposed this week, which is essentially if you download any third-party app outside of Google Play because they check things properly, the app would be able to fake its affiliation with certain companies, like, say, Adobe.
Yeah.
and this fake app would then be able to install bits of code into other apps. It basically gave any app ever a backdoor onto your machine, and if it...
So wait, this is basically a concern if you're pirating things, right?
No, it's not just pirating. It could be any app on any third-party app store. It's not just pirate apps. It could be...
What are the third-party app stores? You shouldn't be using those. Stick with Google Play, people.
That's the thing. If you stick to Google Play, you're safe. But otherwise, download anything that is not outside of Google Play, i.e., if you get out of the walled garden, which is one of the reasons you hate Apple so much, right?
Yeah.
Then you are liable to have absolutely everything on your device stolen.
I mean, isn't the same thing true of a Mac if you install software from outside the App Store?
Well, no. I mean, what do you mean?
Like, there's always security vulnerabilities outside the walled gardens. That's why the walled gardens exist. The trick is to have stuff for everyone inside the walled gardens. I don't hate them as much as I do, as long as there's a way to work around. Now, with Apple, there is. You can jailbreak, which is easy enough. I wish they'd make it official, that there were just like a toggle somewhere.
The thing is,
one
of the big attractions of Android is that you can install anything you want, and if you do, you're opening your device up to anything. And people say, well, this isn't really a problem.
If you do, you will die.
It is. It is very easy to fake an ID which says, oh, I'm a part of the Google Play, and therefore I can access your credit card credentials. Yes, please. I mean, we aren't just talking simple things like, I don't know what even a simple hack would be, but...
Texting your friends.
These things get the ability to install code into other apps, because if you fake yourself as Adobe, Adobe needs permissions to install Flash support or something, and that's how they get around it, which is crazy. Apparently they're fixing it, but who knows how many this has affected.
Yeah, no idea. I mean, I love Android as a platform. I could see, like, this is the problem with any open system, though, is that there's going to be vulnerabilities. But I like having the open system more than anything. I like that I can install a different version of Android on my device when it gets slow instead of just buying a new iPad. There's more pros than cons here for me. But if you're not tech savvy, if you're an idiot, yeah, get an Apple. Sure. If you're stupid and you have expendable money, go for it.
That kind of holds true, but then not really, because I tried to find like the latest version of Android for my HTC phone from last year. It's not even that old, right? And it turns out it's not supported. And then you look at something else, and it's like, oh well, this feature isn't supported, and this won't work anymore. I have a 2-year-old
tablet, and I just installed the latest Android on it this weekend, and it's running 50% faster, I'd say, if probably more.
What's your tablet?
A Asus Transformer Infinity.
Maybe I just had a really shitty Android.
You might have just gotten unlucky. HTC kind of makes crap products. I mean, I'm not saying there aren't bad Android devices. Yeah. There are. Right? I don't know much about HTC.
Sig Interrupt in the chat room says the fake ID exploit on Android is huge, especially since so many phones never get updates and will never be patched. And that's the key point there, isn't it?
Well, that's a big thing. And
because it's all very well running the latest Android and being invulnerable to these.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
You're not running it.
If you're stupid and have expendable money, you should probably be buying an Apple. Apple is the official phone for stupid rich people. I'm not saying that other people can't use it. I'm not saying other people can't use it. But if you're stupid and rich, that is what you should get. I'm not saying everyone who uses it is stupid and rich. But if you are stupid and rich, you should use an Apple. That's what my argument is. I don't know if you're stupid, James, but you're definitely rich, so you can get an Apple. That's fine.
I am so far from rich. That is.
You are in the global 1%, my friend.
How am I in the global 1%?
The global 1% is like 50,000.
Well, that's like if you earn over $1,000 a year, you're in the global 1%, right?
That's what I'm saying, and that makes you obscenely rich by global standards.
All right,
obscenely rich by global standards. You have indoor plumbing and internet. Dude,
you are very
loaded.
right.
No, isn't this crazy though? Like crap that was in America considered a ridiculous luxury like 150 years ago. Now, if you don't have it, it's called poverty. It's just crazy how our standards keep changing. Even the internet 25 years ago was like a luxury for rich professors with too much spare time on their hands. Now it's just something. How are you going to get a job if you don't have that? It's just incredible how these things change. Unrelated point, just thinking of it. But anyways, I like Android, but I'm cheap and tech savvy, so Android works for me.
I like iPhone, and I'm tech savvy and cheap. I don't know.
I think some of my family only got internet last year.
Are you kidding me?
I
Wow.
think my neighbors still don't have it.
We should. I would love to have someone on the show who doesn't have internet.
Well,
And
that would
just
be
ask
tough,
them,
wouldn't it, Justin? Let's just think about that. The feasibility of
if
that.
they're your neighbor, they can walk into your house physically, Jack.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just get them to join the Google Hangout from their internetless house, okay?
You don't have internet? That's fantastic. Can you do a Google Hangout with us? It would be so interesting. I'm going to put out a tweet. Hey, do any of you guys not have internet? Can you please join us on the show? I get my Twitters by mail every day. Tweetbymail.com. Every day they'll print.
Wait, there was a service that did that for emails, wasn't there? Didn't we talk about this last week? The service that printed emails.
Was there really? They'd print emails and mail.
Or was that something we were talking about on Slack, maybe? I forget. There was a service in England where someone prints emails.
That's
so
the
stupid.
point. Now, Reborn is a global scourge at that point. It needs to go away. But should you really be suing Facebook or no? Jay, is Dave gone?
My internet seems to be pooping out right now.
Yeah, sorry. So is mine. I can't. I miss like most of that.
Okay, so I don't think it's our internet. Then I think it's Google.
Yeah, seems like it's Google.
But it's back now, so yeah, I think she should probably sue the person who made the porno and not the people who let it be up. But hey, what do I know? I've never been into revenge porn.
Yeah.
I just saw this on Reddit during the show and added it because I was like, this is weird. Oh, okay, you know why?
This isn't even an actual photo.
Yeah, it's like a doctored photo, but apparently she's suing Facebook because she found out about it and asked them to remove it, and they did nothing.
Facebook wouldn't remove it.
Yeah, so that's where their liability comes into play. She requested it be taken down, and they didn't do anything.
That makes sense, because the longer that's up, the more damage it does. But I mean, doesn't Facebook have a pretty strict no nudity policy in general?
Well, maybe it was like she was covering up her like, you know, she was like this, covering up her boobs or something, but that's still not a picture you want of yourself out there, fake or not.
But it wasn't even a picture of herself. It was fake.
Yeah, but it was her face.
But once it gets out there, it's hard to dispute that it's fake. I mean,
random people don't know.
It's hard to overstate how much damage something like this can do. A lot of people who are doing job interviews, the first thing they'll do when the interview's done is Google you, and if they find a nude picture, they're not going to follow up with you and be like, by the way, I found naked pictures of you. Was that really you? Because we're hiring you to babysit children. Like they're not going to do that. They're not going to follow up like that. So having that out there does do damage to you. It does. So I could see this, actually. I could see. It's pretty messed up that people do revenge porn, though. I think it's...
Whoa, how did they come up with this number? Check this out. The $123 million figure comes from 10 cents in damages for each of the 1.23 billion members of the social network.
Whoa.
Because I've totally seen these pictures. Is there a link? Can I click through? I feel like I should be earning this 10 cents.
Shut up, James.
If you're going to get money for me having looked at these pictures, damn it, I'm going to look at them.
Shut up. That's...
What? What a stupid number to come up with. Seriously.
Well, don't you know how these lawsuits work? You say a high thing, and then instead of them fighting it, right? Instead of them fighting it directly and saying, no, we want to pay no, right. And they'll be like, okay, tell you what, $20 million. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's upfront ridiculous numbers aren't meant to actually be paid out usually. I'm not going to get into the finer points of legal strategy here, but
I'll give you $20. $20.
Yeah,
what do you say?
Mikey Z is just gonna be, yo, sup, $20, done. Got this. Yeah.
$20. Boom. We win.
Done.
That site you linked to is completely a complete pile of piss, actually.
Which one?
Did you look at the one that you've linked to in the show notes for this this Facebook sued lawsuit thing?
Yeah, Huffington
Oh,
Post.
Huffington Post. They're the worst. Why did you link to Huffington Post, Dave?
That was the one that the people's put on Reddit. I don't know.
Oh,
I
wait,
want to
did
design a
go through to
script
something else?
that every
Oh.
time a story is linked to on the Huffington Post, my browser just redirects to a Google News search for the headline so I can read the article from literally anyone else. The Huffington Post, I can't stand them.
Whatever. It's got the information that we wanted. That's all that matters.
Right.
Moving right along, let's do the gaming news, the part of the show where Dave actually talks. Dave, what do we got this week?
There's not a lot going on in the gaming world, but the big thing that everyone's talking about is that EA is doing a subscription service for Xbox Live members. It's $5 a month, or you can pay $30 and get it for a full year, and you get access to back catalogs of games for free. So right now they have FIFA 14, Battlefield 4, Madden 25, and Peggle 2. You can play those as much as you want while the thing is active. You also get a 10% discount on games purchased through Xbox Live through EA games. So technically, if you bought one game a month, you would pay for your $5 because you would save $6 on the game. But you'd have to buy one EA game a month.
Yeah, no one buys one EA game a month. So the only good game on there right now is Battlefield 4.
Yeah, FIFA and Madden are good if you're into those games.
NHL 15.
How much does it cost to buy one of these games anyway?
On the used market? Like $5?
No,
Right,
not for
well, screw
FIFA
that
14 and Madden 25. Those games came out only a few months ago, so they're
Wait,
probably
is
still
FIFA
about
14 the new one? I thought there were like other sports. I'm
No,
looking.
15 hasn't come out yet.
Okay. So yeah, that might work out.
And then the other thing is you get to play like trials of games before everybody else comes out.
Is it easy to like have it on for a month, cancel, and then do it again later when a game you want shows up, or is it pretty strict?
Yeah, it sounds like you could totally do that, but I mean you'd end up saving $1. You'd pay $5, you'd save $6 on the game, so you'd save $1, and then you have to remember to cancel.
Wait, how much is the game? Most of these games, don't they cost more around the $30, $40 range?
Well, no, the games you would use it on a new game, which is $60.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, but the new games won't be on there right away, will they? They'll be on there
No.
6
You get
months later.
10% off to buy a new game.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah.
You would save $6 off the new game, which would pay for 1 month of your subscription because the subscription is $5.
This strikes me as so meh.
It seems like a pretty good deal to me. I don't know. Sounds good.
It could be more interesting if they could get other companies on it. Like, could you imagine if Netflix just had Time Warner movies? Like who gives a crap? Like, who wants to just watch one company's movies? Maybe a company like Disney with a strong brand in and of itself could do that, right? Maybe Nintendo could do it, but who says, oh man, you know what I'm a big fan of? EA. I just love all EA games. Like
they have the sports games though.
That's true.
I mean, think about it. It's $30 for a year. So if you signed up, paid $30 to get the whole year, and you played 5 hours of Battlefield, 5 hours of FIFA, and 5 hours of Madden, if you were to go buy used copies of all those games, that would cost you like $90.
And you know what? If you're the kind of gamer who buys like FIFA or Madden every year, this is a way better deal for you. A way better deal.
And then you get to play old stuff when they decide to add it. I mean, right now it's Xbox One only, so there's not a lot of games for them to have in the back catalog because there haven't been a lot of Xbox One games released yet. That's pretty much everything they've released for Xbox One other than Titanfall. But think about it, at some point Titanfall is going to be
Why doesn't it include Titanfall would be my question.
Because it's not a back catalog. It's a game that's still selling at a
really? Titanfall's still selling?
I'm sure better than Madden, Battlefield, FIFA, and Peggle.
I mean, how old is that now? Like 6 months? What?
What did it come out in? Yeah, it's got to be about 6 months. That's not really back catalog yet. A year is like back catalog, I would think. But the other thing, too, for EA is they get to sell DLC for these games because it won't include DLC. So, like, you buy Battlefield, you buy this thing, you get Battlefield 4, and you're like, oh, I really like this. Oh, there's map packs. I'll buy those. So that's how they make their money.
So it's like free to pay, but they get paid.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing when you buy the game full price, though. You bought that.
So let's say you buy
still have
some
to get the
DLC and then buy the game. Do you get to keep the DLC?
Well, that's the weird thing. You only have the games when you have the subscriptions. So if you had the game, bought the DLC, then canceled your subscription, I don't know how that would work.
Huh.
You wouldn't have the DLC because you don't have the main game anymore. So that's a weird situation. So the other thing is Sony was offered to have this too, and they thought it was a bad deal.
Yeah. On their platform.
My guess is more that it kind of competes with PlayStation Plus, and they're offering free games on PlayStation Plus, and they probably were like, we don't want a service that competes with our service.
Well, yeah. Why would they? It's a better deal for PlayStation if EA plays along with their package, right?
Yeah, exactly. So,
and it's probably, arguably, a better deal for PlayStation consumers. Could you imagine a system wherein you need to buy like 5 different subscriptions if you want every game? I mean, people kind of do that right now, right?
I would do EA and Activision. That would get you like half of all the big games that come out over the course of a year. If I could pay $60 a year, $30 each to have EA and Activision games, that pretty much cover what you need. That's going to get you all your big Call of Duties, all your big EA stuff, your big EA shooters. You'll get Destiny with Activision. So, I mean, that would pretty much cover.
Do you think you'd end up paying less? I guess it depends what kind of gamer you are, right?
Well, I certainly would. I spend way more than $30 a year on games. I spend.
Well, but this wouldn't stop you from buying games. Sure of it, Dave.
Well, I would
you
put a
would
discount
buy
on
certain games.
Yeah. Because I don't play like I did for like Watch Dogs, for example. I still haven't got Watch Dogs. If Ubisoft had one of these, once Watch Dogs gets into that free state, then I would play it because it's okay game, but it's not worth buying. So
I think it depends what kind of gamer you are. If you're the kind of person who buys the latest sports title, particularly, I think this is a great deal.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea that I'm sure that another company will come along and make some adjustments to it. Maybe maybe Activision will say, well, okay, fine, EA has this thing. How about for $150 a year, you just get all of our new games the day they come out?
Yeah, maybe.
Now that would be a hell of a deal because even though it's a big investment up front, at $60 a game, if you play 3 games a year, you've come up ahead. So,
are you aware Guy just joined our podcast?
Guy? Guy's here? Guy, how's it going?
Oh, I put the link in the in Technophilia. So wait, this is not going to work.
He's not recording locally, so yeah, we can't really let him speak, or it will mess up the videos. Sorry about that, Guy.
I'm not really recording locally.
I ejected him, so he can't speak.
Oh dear.
Because the local recording thing that would be weird because we would be talking to him and then he would not answer. So.
Although ours probably just broke anyway. I think mine's frozen.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting at the end when I hit stop and see how much is there. I'm not sure. But the camera still says it's on, so maybe we've got this. We'll find out at the end.
Yeah, we'll see if James has this, though.
Difficulties with this new system. It would be so easy if we were all in the same place. This is the...
Well, if only we could just make
I'll have a spare room if you want to.
We could just make use of to fly us to a central location for every episode.
Once a week. Fly us somewhere in the mid-Atlantic.
I'll say you should just come to...
Whoa. Sorry. No, I am not flying anywhere.
You can take a boat. It's going to take you like 3 days, both ways each day.
His whole life would be just the commute. He would get a 3-day boat ride, get here, do the podcast, get back, say hi to his wife, get back on the boat, come back. James, you should just move.
Oh, man. Moving right along, Good Old Games, or a GOG, has landed on Linux. You can now get certain games on Linux. Now, this is a company that's famous for not having DRM on their games, but also famous for making old games work well on new platforms, right? They bundle these old games so that they work on your Mac, so that they work on your Windows computer, and now so that they work on Linux. They'll be using a variety of different technology to do this. Yeah, that's what the company does. That's
GOG. They're not good old games anymore. They're just GOG now.
They're just GOG? Sorry.
Yeah, they're not good old games.
They don't stand for anything. It's just...
it's not an acronym anymore. It's just GOG. Because they don't just do old games now. They sell
new games. That's true.
Well, this selection of games on Linux looks kind of lame.
Well, every selection of games on Linux is lame, but it's better than no games.
So how
It's
is
a
this?
lot better. It's so much better than it was 10 years ago. And
We've now
Matt
given you
highlighted.
a game on Linux from 1980. Yeah, is that what that
Hey,
is?
they got Surgeon Simulator 2013.
Yeah, that's one of the newer ones. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's pretty crap.
this has been what they specialized in historically, is getting old games working well on modern platforms. So I think that's what they're going to specialize with Linux at first. Getting the new games to work is a lot more work because you can't just put an emulation layer in there. You got to convince the company that made it to recompile the game, basically. So, you know what?
Yeah, serves you right for running Linux. Stop running Linux.
Linux
Well,
is
if you
going
want
to
to
be-
play games, you should stop running Linux. That's just the trade-off of, you know, it's like owning a PlayStation and being pissed off that you can't play Halo. It's like, well, if you wanted to play Halo, you should have bought an Xbox. You know, like if you want to play games, you should have bought a PC.
Yeah, I mean, same thing with using Mac. I would say Linux and Mac are getting closer and closer to on par in terms of game choice.
Yeah, they're pretty close. Mac's still a little bit has a little
bit ahead. A little bit ahead. But yeah, that's kind of where we're
But if you can get it running on Mac, it's not hard to get it running on Linux anyway. They're closer than PC to Mac.
And most companies do it. So the Humble Bundle has been a big deal for Linux gaming because it got a lot of these smaller developers to get their games on the platform. And, you know, the Humble Bundle consistently, the Linux gamers pay more on average than everyone else. There's a real hunger for games on a Linux platform, and they're willing to pay for it.
They're just so happy they can get something. Just give us anything.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously.
We'll take the games you don't want. We don't care. Just give us
How often do you find an audience like that, though, if you're selling anything? Seriously. Yeah. So you're going to see more companies do it. This is just another step. I would, if Microsoft keeps locking down the Windows platform, if Microsoft gets to a situation where they demand a 10% cut on any game sold on it, you're going to be pretty thankful as a gamer, James, that you can plug your Oculus Rift into a Linux system, because you're going to have a lot more choice because of it.
No, it's going to run like shit because there's no graphics drivers to Linux, is there?
Well, there will be if there's games there. This is all like a...
It's all a big circle.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Because you're not going to have the good games until there's graphic drivers, but you're not going to have the graphics drivers until there's games. And you're not going to have the users until there's...
Point. Why would anyone use Linux? You could just use Windows. I mean...
I'm saying in the future, if Microsoft keeps locking stuff down and demands a 10% cut of everything, and like blocks Steam from the service, which they conceivably could do. We talked about how fucking wonderful walled gardens are earlier, James. This is what's going to happen.
They are wonderful.
Yeah.
No viruses and shit works.
Yeah, except not the shit you want. So if Microsoft blocks Steam from running, you're going to be pretty happy that there's a non-walled garden option. That's all I'm saying. So you should be, even if you don't use Linux, James, cheering for Linux gaming to succeed because it's the only open future we have. I'm convinced of that. Very enthusiastic cheer, buddy.
Did you see the Humble Bundle this week is Square Enix games? Squeenix?
Yeah.
Pretty decent stuff in there.
I am amazed lately, the Humble Bundle having these high-profile companies just basically give away a ton of games. It's always the older ones.
These are games that no one's buying anymore, so if they can sell you a $15 bundle and get even a little bit off of these games they're digital, so it doesn't cost them anything.
Don't they get nothing because it goes to charity, I thought?
No, you split it how you want.
You pick the percentage.
Oh, right.
The default split on this one is $16.25 of $20 goes to, or of $30 goes to Square. $25, sorry. $16.25 to Square, $5 to charity, and $3.75 to Humble. Obviously, you can change the sliders, but that's the default.
Isn't it really interesting that they still do the sales by platform, even though none of these games work on Mac or Linux?
A couple of them work on Mac, but like none of them on Linux. There's
but they still have the chart at the bottom with sales by platform. Like, that's just weird. Of course, no one's paying for it on Linux. They can't play the games. Why would they? Anyway, it's kind of odd.
Although it is still higher average. The average Linux purchase is $10.87.
Don't they donate it all to charity? No, we just said, Guy, they don't. It's like it's a percentage.
Remember,
but you can
live
make
show is about 3 minutes ahead of the chat room.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I always give a little bit to the developer. I always try to do like a fairly even split when I buy these things. So like the bars are all pretty close.
I don't give anything to charity in these things.
You're a jerk.
No, I'm not. I give lots of money to charity, believe me, but I don't do it when I'm buying something else. If I want to give money to a charity, I will do it directly, and it will be like a 3-figure sum, at least.
And I certainly won't do it because you come up and hassle me in the high street and tell me to donate £3 a month. I will tell you to go fuck yourself.
No, I donate to charity, or what? Like sometimes at the cash register now, they like, well, do you want to round up to donate? No. Yeah, they do it at the grocery store now. Every time I check out, they're like, well, if you round that up to $60, I'm at like 55, right? We'll give it to a blood cancer research. And I'm like, no, I don't do that. I give to charity very specifically. Once a month, I research where it should go, and I figure it out.
Exactly.
And I do like a lump sum. Yeah, I don't think it's productive to give a little bit. And then what's Safeway going to do? They're going to like, we donated $50,000, but it's their customers doing it $5 at a time, right?
Yep.
Give to charity. Give to charity. I just don't do it in contexts like this.
Just give to me. I'll take it.
No. Yeah.
Shut
if
up,
you want,
Dave. You're the 1%.
I'm the worldwide 0.2%.
You're the 1%, Dave.
We're all the 1%.
I'm 0.001%.
Whatever. Let's wrap this podcast up, shall we, gentlemen? I think we've done an hour.
Penis cast. It's like a podcast for penises.
I hate you so much.
I know. I'm okay with
I
that.
don't know where that came from.
You can watch this show live once a week on Wednesdays. You go to makeuseof.tv/live. You'll see a countdown there. We've got everything set up. Wednesday morning in the U.S., Wednesday afternoon over in European places. And middle of the night if you're in India. Hi, India. How's it going?
India.
Hey.
What?
What?
I don't know. He was just doing some weird
What
shit.
just
I
happened
don't
to
know if
this
it was on
podcast?
purpose.
What the fuck just happened?
What
I don't
happened
know.
in your face?
I don't know.
You're an idiot,
Anyways,
Dave.
you can connect with the show at Technophilia on Twitter. You can go to facebook.com/Technophilia podcast. Or, if you really want, you can follow me at JHPod, like it says behind me. What else we got, guys?
Chickens.
Chickens.
We've got
Cool.
some current competitions going on for a Asus Chromebook. One of the
Wait,
new
why are you
ones.
saying this after we already wrapped up the show?
You're a dick.
Yeah,
We
why
already
did you
did-
just say that? You just wrecked it. We had a good flow going, and you just totally destroyed it.
But we said our goodbyes already, and now we're doing more show things.
I didn't say goodbye. I just said a bunch of stuff. It would have flowed fine.
Well, now it's ruined.
You're such a dick.
You're an asshole, Dave.
All right, let's rewind and try that again.
Hey, James, what else we got?
We've got an Asus Chromebook that you can go win on the site now, one of the newest ones. We've got a... Oh, there's a bunch of other weird crap here. I don't even know what a Hyperkin Retro N5 is. That sounds like crap. We've got a Samsung Galaxy S5, an LG G Watch. Yeah, is this yours, Dave? This Hyperkin Retro N? That sounds like a retro. Sounds like you.
Retro N. It's Retron.
Well, why has it got a capital N then? Retro
I
N.
don't fucking know. I didn't make the thing.
Right. Well, it's Retro N then. Retro N5.
There's no space between the retro and the
What
N.
the fuck is it, Dave?
Oh, shut up, guys.
It's a retro game console to play retro games.
Oh. Well, that's
It
lame.
plays like
All right.
all.
I watched that video, unlike James, and it looks kind of awesome, actually. You can
Yeah, it's
play,
pretty cool.
yeah, you can play Game Boy, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis games. Sorry, Sega Hyperdrive or whatever you called it in Europe. I don't
Mega
You
Drive.
can add ROMs to it?
No,
No.
what it does is you put your cartridge in it, your traditional cartridge,
Whoa.
and it dumps the ROM to the system.
We were just taking the piss out of CDs and tapes, and you're talking about playing console cartridges that are, what, 20 years old?
Well, that's because there's no other way to play them. You can listen
Well,
to
there
music.
is if you steal them. This is not a piracy device, though.
There's no other ways to play them legally.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that, guys. Forget
So-
about that. We've got
so
other
what
cool
it does,
stuff
though-
we're giving away. Don't worry
So
about
what
this
it
one.
does
Crap.
though is it gives you the benefits that the pirates have. So when you when you put the card in and dump the ROM, you can then do like save states and things that you would do if you were pirating, but it does it from your legitimate game instead of from a pirating, and it does it on your TV.
But it doesn't run ROMs, right?
No,
Well,
it
it
doesn't.
runs ROMs
doesn't
from
run
the
ROMs.
card.
Just so we don't missell this to readers, it doesn't run ROMs. You have to actually...
Everything runs ROM. I'm pretty sure I got my toaster to get the 1985 version of Tetris running. Like,
That's
running
pretty
ROMs.
cool. Can we give away your toaster?
Sure. We'll give away my toaster.
That
Install
sounds
Tetris
great.
on it. Yeah.
We've also got
It's
some
actually a real pain in the ass.
tablet
If I don't
stand.
get up to level 3, I don't get my toast, and it just burns. But what else you got?
We got a tablet stand, which I believe one of the comments was quite funny for us. They said they would. No, okay, we won't read that comment.
No, they said if they're gonna win, it would be perfect for watching.
Is that the monkey claw thing?
It would be to check emails during sex or masturbation, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
that was awesome.
I don't know. You can kind of do that with a laptop just fine, can't you?
I don't. No, a laptop kind of get. No, I'm not. Let's not go there.
Anyway, it's just a suction cup on top of a really quality build stand, right?
A suction cup, eh?
That's how this tablet thing works. It just.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought that was the masturbation.
No, I wasn't on that conversation anymore. Yeah. Anyways,
also, I don't know what else we have. This is a Did you look at this? An Apatop Y reader. Do you know what that is?
No.
No. Okay, cool.
I can't remember.
You can win one of them. Let's wrap it up. Well, I'm done.
Okay, let's wrap it up. Guys, it's time for the after show. If you're listening to the live show, we're now going to do art. So we need suggestions here.
Wait, stop your recordings, fuckers.
Can we see if this is broken now? Because I think
let's see if I do have a recording.
I have a recording. Mine has worked perfectly.
It seems to have stopped on 59 minutes. It doesn't go past about an hour.
Of course it did.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you guys, every week you guys fuck this up. You're saving me work, so.
Yeah, but the podcast isn't going to grow because of that. I think we should just ditch the video version and become an audio show nicely. Stop.
No, because that doesn't expand on anything, and then we are no better than we were now.
Yep. The whole point of this was to make a quality video show that people would want to watch. But since you fuckers can't get recording software that works, I don't know.
Maybe I just need to invest in an actual camera.
This may have worked. I don't know. It's taking ages to stop the recording.
What about yours?
It's doing the spinny wheel thing as though it's processing it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, I did.
What are you using to record, James?
Just QuickTime. I tested it last time. It worked perfectly for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's because I have the other webcam on. I think we can't have video in the live stream and record consistently.
Well, mine's on a totally separate Mac. I have one Mac running the Hangouts and one running just this, and it's like there's nothing else running. It's literally just that.
I have like 30 programs running and recording the webcam software, and it works perfectly, but I'm on a PC, so I don't know.
Well, I already tried the PC route, and it didn't work, so stop being a dick.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is we've done this 3 times.
I know that's tough for you.
I've done this
3 times, and you haven't had a problem.
And I haven't had a problem on my PC, so I don't know.
If I had a big... I think it's more than I'm using a laptop to do it instead of a desktop.
Yeah, I think it's probably more that my PC is also very, very powerful, so it can handle this without... It's like, just shrugs it off, like whatever. I think if my Mac was equally powerful to this PC, it would work perfectly. It's just a power thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that's it.
You don't think that's it? I don't know. I'm still getting the spinning wheel. Hopefully it works. But for now, let's get some art going, guys. What do we got?
You got to do it this week. I did shitty art last week, so we need good art this week.
That's true. We had legitimate piracy as a suggestion here. We've got PC Master Race. I'm not doing enough.
PC Master Race! What about PC Master Bates?
I just had this idea about like a Windows logo themed swastika, but I'm not doing it.
Did you play the Destiny beta at all?
I haven't.
No, not you. You wouldn't have played it. James. You don't have a Xbox One.
No, I haven't. Can I get in on that without doing much?
It's over now. You missed it.
Okay.
It was code-based at first, like, you know, you had to pre-order it to get it, and then, like, for the last 2 days, they just opened it up to everybody. But my cousin hooked me up with a code. It's like the Titanfall was. Remember Titanfall, how that beta was? It's okay. It seems pretty good.
Yeah, I've been crazy mad crazy mad busy these last few weeks anyway, so I wouldn't have played.
You'll probably like it because it's a shooter MMO. It's got all that going on.
So when do you want to do this gaming thing? I don't think we should do it during the live show, should we?
No, right after.
Next week?
Yeah, right after. That way I can have all, and then I can just kind of like put, trim it down to like 10 minutes and just put in like highlights of the game.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So I've got a rainy day today, so maybe I'll take some time this evening.
I don't think the game's very good. So
no.
It just
what's your favorite kind of strategy games ever?
I like Civ. I like turn-based strategy games. Okay. But I used to play Command & Conquer, and it feels like I'm playing Command & Conquer from 10 years ago, but it's not 10 years ago. I think that's what they were going for, though. I don't know why. To me, it didn't come off as like when you play like a retro-style platformer. It's like, oh, that was charming. To me, it was just like, this looks old, and it plays old.
I think it has an incredible depth to it. There's more units in it than any of these other games have ever had.
There's a lot of fucking units.
And it's kind of like that stupid dwarf underground fortress or whatever the fuck it was we talked about last week.
Fortress is friggin' awesome.
Right, but it's for strategy games, right? So I haven't had a chance to get into it as much as I would like yet, but I'm pretty sure if we played it multiplayer, it would be pretty cool.
Is your thing still spinning, James?
Yeah, mine is still spinning.
Ugh, I'm so scared that it just broke. Outright. I'm gonna have to find a different strategy. I think QuickTime's just not reliable enough.
If they made this Logitech webcam software for Mac, we'd be perfect. Because the reason James and I had a problem last time is because you were using the PC version of it, running on a side boot thing. It was. I bet you if you just had it on a PC, it would have been fine.
Maybe I should just install Windows on this thing and.
Yeah, but that's what James had last week, and it didn't work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his results
I don't know
were
what
better.
Broke there. It could have been my microphone that broke rather than the software. It's
That's
very
true because it did
USB
keep
thing.
recording. It did keep recording the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just we lost sound.
Which could just have been a dodgy USB connection one-off rather than anything else.
Use OBS to record, I'm being told in the chat room by Scutterman.
Oh yeah, you could use OBS. I didn't even think of that.
What is OBS? Open
Broadcast Software, the thing everybody uses to stream on Twitch.
Oh shit, yeah, I should be using this.
Would that work?
Yeah. You just have to go Google how to, because by default OBS is set up for streaming, so just Google how to do it. Without to record.
I mean, it's gonna be so much better.
That's awesome, but
I've recorded all the video. If you go look at like the Goat Simulator video and stuff, those were recorded using OBS.
So I could do that to record just.
What?
I could use.
Yeah. You just set up video capture device, and then you just click record, and then it goes. You have to play with the settings. It's not as simple as just using QuickTime. It will take you a little while to figure out all the settings, but
yeah. But if it's more reliable than this, that's going to be a step up. Because I don't know, James. I don't know how much longer I want to wait on a spinny wheel.
I'm starting to doubt if it's still working.
Yeah.
Oh, it says it is.
Where does it If I right-click it, it doesn't say that it's not responding.
Yeah, it doesn't say force quit. No, quite.
So maybe we just have to wait a little longer.
Yep.
But I don't know how much longer to give it. In the meantime, was there any good art ideas? I'm not doing the Master Race thing. We got Technophilia Spindle. What do you got?
The piracy one, they said. That was pretty funny.
Legitimate piracy?
Yeah.
Okay, that looks good. What do we have for legitimate piracy?
Penis.
No. Dave, we need to talk. It's time for an intervention. You can't just say penis for no reason with no context.
Why?
It doesn't make sense.
You don't make sense.
It's frustrating.
You're frustrating. You're frustrated. I'm gonna frustrate all over your face.
We did such a good show last week. It was amazing. We were all insightful and intelligent, and it was
that is a blatant exaggeration. Do not accuse me of being insightful.
You were insightful as shit last week.
That's bullshit. Incredible. Don't believe him, everyone. He's lying.
Oh man, it was crazy. You were the most insightful guy. You were so smart, and now you're just.
God, I even made a special background for you guys to put your pretty faces on and everything. I spent like 20 minutes in Photoshop making that thing. You thought you repay me?
So when we just did audio, we had 2 recordings basically, right? Because all of us would record in a way that it was all 3 of us, but we could split it.
I'm friends with the. We had 2 recordings. It was like James had a recording of himself, and then he had a recording of you and me.
Yeah,
together.
No, so if you use the Skype software, it would record me. It split it. We could split it into 3 files, basically, right?
I think we only split it into 2 files, right, James? There was the remote people
I think
and
the backup was having 2 files, but if you guys recorded locally as well, then I had your 3 files.
Yeah. So this is Technophilia 1. What are we at, guys?
24.
24,
I can't believe they've let us do this that many times. That is obviously the wrong size.
I need to go. We need to convince Jess that we need to get this dog, like, soon.
So, protection, man.
It's a 15-pound dog.
Protection from mice.
What are you talking about?
We and Jess went to the pet store to go look at dogs, and she doesn't really like dogs, but she's gonna let me get one at some point. And we found a doggy there that she really, really liked. She super liked her. She was really surprisingly, because Jess hates dogs, surprisingly really liked this dog. But I can't quite get her to pull the trigger on it, and I don't know how to convince her.
Okay, guys, check it out. I did pirate search on Morgue file, and can that be the legitimate pirate?
He doesn't look very legitimate to me. He looks pretty...
I don't care. It's so awesome. What should I do? What about this? Who the hell is this guy? Okay, what do we got? This parrot's got attitude. I'm inclined to go with this parrot. Man, Morgue File's never this awesome. People like pirates.
It would make sense that there would be skeletons.
Yeah. I had that flag. I had that exact flag. My mom lost it. Okay, what do you think? Just this then?
My spinny thing is still spinning.
Time keeps on slipping, slipping. Yep.
Regardless, the last 2 weeks we haven't done a post on Make Use Of for the show because we didn't have a good one to put up. But I'm going to do a post tomorrow, even if we just embed the shitty one in there, just because people are going to forget the show even exists.
Man, the first week, it would be interesting to see if listenership is down because of that.
I was just going to check.
The people who listen to the podcast feed probably don't even know this shit's going on and they don't care.
Yeah. Well, I'm wondering how many people go to makeuseof.tv and just listen, but there can't be many. Why would you listen if you can watch?
Right. Well, I think most people just have it in their RSS and they just download it and don't
just get it, or from iTunes or whatever, right?
Yeah, don't even know what's happening on site side.
Yeah. I know every once in a while someone will ask on Twitter, hey, how do I listen to the live show? And I'll try to fill them in. But for the most part, I think you're right.
Yeah, because James is a bitch. That's the real problem.
That's the real problem. That's what I'm saying.
That's it.
I burped and it tasted funny like pizza.
Shut up.
Suck.
What, it did? You never had your burp taste like pizza? I just ate pizza.
We've all had that. We just...
God, you guys are so
We have an internal filter.
Well, you should turn that shit off. That shit's for wusses. Real men say whatever's on their mind whenever it's there.
Oh, are we really going to do this? Are we really going to...
It's how we roll, dog.
1, 2, 3, right?
1, 2, 3 what?
Technophilia 1, 2, 3?
No, 1, 2, 4. Last week was 1, 2, 3. The man loves rabbits.
Last week we had the best number. I gotta say, my town has been taken over by rabbits. People who follow me on Twitter know about this. They're everywhere. They're so confident. They don't give a shit about anyone.
Your town is a cupcake. I mean, a rabbit. I just read about a cupcake. World Cupcake.
World Cupcake.
Yeah, the downloads seem to be pretty steady.
Yeah, so I think the core of our listener base gets the show and interacts with the show primarily via the podcast interface, right? And that's why I think we should really be focusing on increasing the audio quality more than anything else.
Well, if this works, the audio quality will be good.
This makes no sense, Justin. If you can add another feed which is video only, then that gets us
it's a whole new audience.
Of viewers.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
The people on the audio show
but
are fine
if we
with
can
what we
do
got.
it, we really need to think of a way to do it.
Well,
We've thought of lots of ways. They're just all fucking shit.
Well, we need something that works, is my point.
you guys need to
we
all
need
go
to
out
make
and
it
buy
fucking work.
PCs and then just do what I do, and it'll be perfect.
Gotta
I
spend
have
money
like
to make
3
money.
PCs in the house, alright? It's not a question of PCs, it's just a question of shitness.
We'll use the PC with Logitech webcam software, and then you'll be good.
I mean, this is fucked. Is there a backup somewhere for this?
For what?
For QuickTime temporary recordings or something?
Yeah, like, does it store it somewhere? In some temp file? Okay, look, here's my legitimate pirates. I think I gotta make that a little easier to read at the bottom.
I'm gonna make you a little easier to read at the bottom. Oh! You got burned, son.
I don't know what just happened. Yo ho ho. Okay, there's the art, guys. We've got this. I guess I'm just gonna have some lunch and hope that this all works out.
I already had lunch, bitch. What?
Yeah, you and your Eastern elitist time zone.
I had some leftover pizza from dinner last night. It was good.
I actually watched you eat it because you just sat there watching Twitch with the live stream on.
Yep.
Yeah.
What? That's weird.
I sign into the chat room, and he's got Twitch on, so it sounds like there's 2 people in the room with him, but it's just him watching video games. And he's sitting there eating pizza, and I'm just like, Dave, and he just kept eating, and I'm like, whatever.
I
Got back to whatever I was doing.
I had the Twitch volume louder and the Hangout volume lower, so I couldn't hear Justin. I was just showing like a villain and cat peeling and drug dealing. What? So,
Okay,
hopefully
well,
your recordings work. If they work, put them in sync. Keep me posted. Let me know. In the meantime, I won't bother to put mine into the Premiere timeline because I don't want to waste the time doing it if I don't have a reason to do it.
Yep. We'll
And
give it an hour.
Poop on
And
all of your faces.
We'll find another strategy for next week. Thanks so much for hanging out, live show people. I'll leave the chat room intermittently this afternoon as I try to work. So
I
hang out
won't
if you
because I
want.
hate you punk asses.
Yeah, whatever. And I'm going to try OBS because this looks a lot better.
Yeah, James, maybe you should do that too.
Yeah, I'm going to play with OBS over the weekend.
Or
I'm going to use it to record some footage.
Yeah, record some footage of your balls.
No.
Put it on the internet.
Shut up. I hate you
could
so much.
Sue Facebook for. You could sue OBS for revenge porn.
Die in a fire.
All right, bye everyone. We're shutting down.
Bye. See ya.